Hello guys, how's it going? Moon here, back again reviewing one of the old patches to Final Fantasy XIV, and today we are going to be starting with patch 2.5 Before the Fall. I'm going to be honest guys, it doesn't get better than this. This is the highlight of, I would say, the entire game. This is the last patch of A Realm Reborn before we get into what we call Heavensward, and then later on Stormblood. So I mean, let's just see how it is. I mean, I recall this being like the best, the hypest of all the trailers. I feel like currently when this came out, I was already endgame. I think I just been recruited into one of my favorite FCs that I was ever in the game, the Sixth Sense. And this trailer came out, everybody was hype, everybody was talking about it, but let's see what was hype about it when it came out. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's look at this trailer.
The northern sky doth burn full bright upon the Wormlord's call. The red behemoth beckoneth, and flame consumeth all.
Ooh, very mysterious. Final Fantasy 14.
Countless assaults were.
There's Alphanode.
This will be no different. Why am I not convinced?
Before the Fall Part 1. Hold on, was there a Part 2? I forget, like, I don't think there was a Part 2 for a trailer, but I think they're just going to show off the Part 1. Before the Fall was really big, guys. Alright, sorry about that. Let's keep watching.
Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoice.
Oh, man. Warrior of Lights.
Can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
Holy shit. And I believe the music is from the one dungeon. What is it called? Keeper of the Lake. That's right. I'm not going to spoil things. Like, this is so good, I don't want to spoil anything for people that haven't seen it yet. But I'm pretty sure all you guys know the story to currently what's going on. This is a very old patch. I mean, how can they top from last patch? You know, recall Ninja being released the last patch. I mean, what makes this patch so great? Now this is Keeper of the Lake, the dungeon. One of my favorites. Pretty intense. Like probably one of the hardest boss fights in a dungeon. One of the hardest. Midgar Summer. Oh shit. Alright, enough with that. And what is this? Is hard mode, Wondrous Palace. Oh, I didn't know that came out during this patch. I believe this came, Wondrous Palace, the first one came out when the game was released. It was like the first end game dungeon before the patch 2.1 came out. And I mean, Wondrous Palace, you know, and Wondrous Palace hard mode, pretty much the same thing. It's a really short dungeon. I would say the hard mode is definitely slightly harder. Oh man, this boss is a pain. People still have problems with this boss. Oh man. Dude, man, I ran this dungeon so many times. Ampor Keep. Freaking hard mode. Get faced. Very cool dungeon. The bosses are hard in this, definitely. I mean, like, not the most appealing dungeon, but probably, you know, pretty unique and stuff. Especially getting towards the final boss, and you're like fighting a gauntlet of enemies, and you're like timed and stuff like that. Really cool. I forget the name to this guy, but this isn't going to be the last time you see this guy in the Final Fantasy story. That's what I like about 14 sometimes. Like, it doesn't necessarily just, like, they don't just make characters in this be gone with them, you know. The characters stick around, you know. Maybe characters stick around too long, I don't know, that's, you know, but they're definitely there, and they definitely get some use. I haven't seen a character underutilized. Oh, and this is when the Gold Saucer was out. I thought Gold Saucer came out last patch, but this is big right here. Patch 2.51. Okay. So this came out probably like 2-3 weeks after the release of 2.5, the Gold Saucer, which was like okay. I remember when it came out, I didn't really care too much about it, to be honest. I mean, I still don't. Never really did. I mean, Chocobo racing is a thing. It could be better, but I mean, it doesn't hurt the game for this being in it, you know. So it's either you like it or you just ignore it, and you're not going to lose anything from it. Now, people lost their fucking minds for the triple triad cards. Now, in 14, there is a card game you could play with NPCs and other players and collect cards around the world, and you know, you have to like get some cards during certain periods of time. You know, you can't just get cards anytime you want to play against NPCs and stuff like that. And of course, Hildebrand. But that's probably one of the biggest things was triple triad in this patch. Holy shit. And this is the last part of Hildebrand. Freaking, what is, oh yeah, that's his Gilgamesh's buddy. Fucking Odin, dude, get faced. Thought Odin was done. Well, he's back with a trial. Dude, so many trials came out during, like, holy shit. Trials and dungeons. Now, I only seen 2 dungeons during, well, hold on. No, never mind. There was 3 dungeons during this patch. Never mind. They're still doing 3 dungeons every patch. Oh, they lost. In the last part of the 24-man raid, I farmed the hell out of it. Got some good gear from this. Get me nice and prepped for a Heaven's Ward when it came out. So Heaven's Ward at this point is right around the corner. What, like about 4 to 5 months away. So what they're doing right here is just getting people caught up. You know, the World of Darkness raid is basically just to get people caught up with equivalent raid gear from like Bahamut. Very cool. I mean, I liked World of Darkness. I mean, it was definitely one of the raids in the game that actually felt like a raid. Like, multiple times I played in this raid, and you might not always clear. Like, you know, these bosses are no joke. Going against the Cloud of Darkness. This is the hard part right here. She is the final boss to this, and you had to be on point. You had to get good. This is crazy. All right, now let's get back into that main scenario. The barrier around Heaven's Ishgard has been broken.
Thancred and I will deal with this.
Now, may I have the last dance?
Giri.
Let them have it, Ida.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Holy shit. It is there. I don't think they want to spoil too much in Nanamo. I like that fade.
Go on. You are the warrior of light.
Mm.
You are hope for the Scions and for all the realm. As long as your flame continues to burn, the light of the dawn may ever be relit.
Oh shit. What's at the end? Oh wow, and they show off this fight. The initial steps of faith. Okay. Is that it? Over 2.5 million players, whatever. Okay, Square Enix, even though we just recently got the info of how many active subscriptions they had at any point of time in the game. It said they never hit over 1 million active subscriptions at one point in the game. But despite all that, this trailer, I mean, despite the content that's in it, this trailer though was a little bit like less hype than the other two that came before it, Defenders of Eorzea and Dreams of Ice. This one was like a little less. I was a little less hyped for this one due to the fact that they just released a job in the middle of the game, you know, with Ninja coming out. This one didn't really have too much other than the Gold Saucer coming out, and I wasn't personally too fond of the Gold Saucer. I mean, it was a good FF7 reference. If you guys don't remember, Gold Saucer made its initial release in Final Fantasy with FF7, so it was a good FF7 reference, and the music was great. I mean, Hildebrand, you know, they're just closing off storylines. Probably Broad of Darkness is probably one of my favorite parts in this trailer, but I mean, it was good. I mean, it was a good patch. It showed part 1 and part 2. I don't think it definitely didn't want to spoil anything for people watching, for people that was, you know, going to do the story. They didn't spoil anything, which is perfectly fine. Honestly, if you played patch 2.4 and you're going into 2.5, you're definitely going to play 2.5, so you're going to know the end of the story. And I'm going to say that this story 2.5 Before the Fall is the highlight. I mean, despite that they didn't show it off, you know, I wanted to talk about it more, but it was the highlight. It had very good fights, you know, memorable fights that changed the game going into Heaven's Word, and I'll talk about that later. And let's see what this is right here. But where is patch 3.0? All right, let me see if I can find it. Like, there's 3.1. 3.0 trailer, because that's going to be next. I'm going to review. This can't be it. Is this it? Just 5 minutes? And I believe there was, like, for Heaven's Word, when it came out, there was at least like a 10 to 20 minute long video of the Heaven's Word launch. But I'll find that one because that's the one I want to talk about. So yeah, A Realm Reborn is done. I mean, people's happy at this point. Going into Heaven's Ward was definitely a lot of hype and a lot of preparation that people did to get into Heaven's Ward, and it was definitely a treat for everybody that was playing during that time. And this is why I wanted to make these videos to, you know, kind of so we can look back at all the fond memories of Final Fantasy 14. It may not be the best, and and who knows, it might not even be a good game anymore, but it definitely had its moments, and these was a few of them. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys for the next video going into Heaven's Ward, and I will talk to you guys later, and peace out. Later.